think there's let's go into a couple more of these different things that we see today, but were planted early on. And then I want to talk a little bit about the third-party retailers, because I think you brought up a contentious point.
Contentious, okay.
Yeah. And so
yeah, let's do it.
we have the Amazon Prime 2005 launched.
Big moment.
And this was it started with the limited 2-day shipping for a flat annual fee of $79. Internal skeptics were like, this doesn't make sense. It would be too expensive. Basically, that cost wouldn't justify the
I don't think it's about
shipping.
the cost, right? It's not about that. It's the psychological feeling I get that I can pay one time, and now every time I pay for something on Amazon, I see this thing that says free 2-day shipping.
Yeah, it's this ecosystem of building out the ecosystem. I mean,
Amazon.
we just dropped some direct finance. And so, yeah, it was Prime became the most. It's obvious the most powerful membership loyalty program in e-commerce history.
Yeah,
and it has over 200 members globally today. Amazon Web Services was launched in 2006, and this was basically computing infrastructure as a pay-as-you-go service. It started with S3, which was storage, and EC2, which is computing.
Yep.
And these were just basic infrastructure services at the time. It's definitely grown into something way more comprehensive than just that. We've used it
extensively.
And this was born from Amazon's own need to build scalable internal infrastructure. Initially viewed as a side project, it would become the most profitable division in the company. AWS gave startups access to enterprise-grade infrastructure without massive upfront capital. And this is interesting because it goes back to Rockefeller. It goes back to, or not back to currently, but back to in terms of our episodes.
Right.
Jensen Huang.
Okay.
Where it's, you can, and I forget the exact saying that we have, but you can turn these side projects into different businesses. Rockefeller did this.
Sell the whole cow.
Yeah, sell the whole cow. That's what the saying is, sell the whole cow. And this is a perfect version of that.
Yes.
And the rest of the cow that they ended up selling ended up being even more valuable and profitable than the other aspects. So Jensen Huang, they sold the chips that didn't meet the grade of the top flight chips, and then it was another line of product.
Right, when I have my computer at home.
And then Rockefeller, it was gasoline.
It was essentially gasoline, which was purified from like silicone or something like that, which they didn't have cars at the time, so they couldn't use it. But it was that purification process, I think, from silicone to gasoline or something like that, or using silicone to get gasoline. Yeah,
and so I mean, it's wild how some of these things end up panning out. And I think there's a few other founders that we've
sell the whole cow
that ended up selling the whole cow and seeing wild profits from doing so.
The one thing I want to call out, we'll get into this a little bit in the super secret, but Amazon Web Services is so large that when their service goes down, it feels like the internet's down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but
it's
like
crazy.
When Cloudflare, like when these big services go down, a lot of that's running on AWS infrastructure, and it feels like the world's kind of halting. Yeah. It's very interesting.
It's very, very interesting. We've experienced that on so many different levels.
Right.
And just to give people an idea, some of the biggest companies are on there. You have Netflix, the CIA, NASA, millions of startups that use Amazon. So
a couple Fortune 100 companies that we know are on.
Right. Rocket. A lot. And so, and that, if not all, I mean, Snapchat also moved over there too.
Yes.
So if not all of their infrastructure, even partial aspects of their infrastructure might be on Amazon.
Yeah, or dependency, you know, and so it's like you can't really get away from it.
Yeah, so it feels like the internet's down 100%. And so that was this was a big successful move in play for them. And then the other thing was the Kindle that came out in 2007. This launched the whole e-reader on started at $399, sold out in 5 and a half hours, Bezos saw digital books as inevitable and wanted Amazon to lead the transition, even if it cannibalized its own physical books business.
That's right.
I think the saying around here was, "Your margin is my opportunity,"
Yes.
and applied it to
Yes.
the entire publishing industry.
100%.
And I think that's a perfect jump off to get into what you were talking about right
So
here.
even just one more point on the Kindle. Did you ever find out how many were actually sold?
Mm-mm.
It's on purpose.
Probably wasn't a lot, huh?
Yeah, they've never published how many Kindles have been sold in terms of units.
Well, it's a great headline.
It is a great headline, but yeah, we can
Yeah,
absolutely
we
talk
only
about
have
this.
3. They're sold out.
They're sold out.
5.5 hours. Can you believe that? We sold 1 in 5.5
Hey,
hours. We're done.
Overnight success. But no, we can absolutely talk about some of these marketplace terms and conditions.
Well, I'm just thinking about this Frontline interview,
Okay.
which is hilarious because there was this moment where they were playing this eerie music and it was the Jeff Bezos laugh in the background, and I'm like, if you don't, this doesn't make him seem like a comic book villain, then I don't know what does. It showed him with like the arms, he had this this, for the people that haven't seen this, there was this these robotic arms that were connected to his arms and would mimic his gesture.